Hey, how's it going everyone? Welcome back to Keeping Fish Simple. So in today's video, I'm going to give you guys the best pieces of advice that you need to take care of baby fish in your aquarium, and make sure you stay around to the end of the video to get all the advice. So I've been there before and I'm there right now, technically. A lot of people, when they have fish, the fish are constantly always breeding and people don't even know it, but every now and then they'll spot fish in their aquarium, whether it be behind a heater or a filter or under some decorations, and they'll find little babies. And it's a super exciting time, and it also can cause a lot of stress. But today I'm going to try and make this as easy as possible for you to make sure that fish gets into an adulthood and you can add that back to a community aquarium. And this video is also going to be very valuable for you if you are breeding fish at the moment and you want to learn how to raise those fish up quick and how to take care of them really well. So when it comes to taking care of baby fish, there's really two main important things. And the first thing is keeping the fish away from the parents, and then of course feeding. Now, when I mean keeping fish away from parents is, normally it's really upsetting, but what can happen is the parents will eat the fry. So big fish, like in fish in general, they'll really eat anything that fits in their mouth. And this is for exceptions of a few fish, like the plecos that I have in this aquarium, that I really don't go after their fry. But definitely guppies and danios and angelfish and things like that tend to eat anything that can fit in their mouth. So it's really important that when you have your baby fish, whether it be like a little guppy hiding in your aquarium, that you either decide to put some more decorations in the aquarium so it can continue to escape the parents, or you decide to take it out and put it into another tank. Now, what a lot of people like to do is, because it's convenient, they like to put decorations in their aquarium and provide heaps of hiding spaces for the fish, and then that way the fish, only the strongest fish really survive because they're the best at hiding, and you kind of get the strongest gene pool out of that. But if you're not that cruel-hearted and you just want to take care of all of the fish, the best thing to do is when you get fish, or if you find baby fish in your aquarium, to put them into a separate tank, whether it be a little container with an air pump or put them in a whole nother aquarium. You can do that and you can start to take care of them in there. Now, a really important thing, I know that everyone's going to say it in the comments, baby fish are called fry in the aquarium hobby. I'm not too sure why this is, they're just called fry, so I'm going to start calling them fry from this point, so don't get confused any further in the video because baby fish are fry. Okay, so now that you've decided you're going to keep your fry away from the parents, the next thing to do is feeding. So a lot of people can really get confused on this part of the entire process because they don't understand that baby fish have extremely small mouths and they're not going to be able to eat a lot of foods. So common foods that are fed to baby fish is obviously live baby brine shrimp. You can get that frozen as well. Vinegar worms and crushed flakes and things like that. Now you can buy things like Hikari first bites, and they're really good for a lot of fish. Some fish can't fit those in their mouths, and that can be a little bit of a problem. If you guys are looking for the easiest thing to do right now and you've got a baby fish in your aquarium waiting to get fed, the best thing to do is to get some of your tropical flakes, put them in a Ziploc bag and rub them until it turns into a powder, and then you can sprinkle the powder along the top of the aquarium and you'll have the most success that way. Now, a really important part of feeding your baby fish, your fry, is to make sure that when you're feeding, the tank size is small enough to where the fry can actually find their food. What happens a lot of the time is people add their fry to a big tank like this 55 gallon here, and the water mass is so vast that the fish, when you feed it, have to swim too far and they can't find their food and they starve. So it's really important that your tank is small enough for the fry to find their food and just to sit there like a little banquet and just be constantly getting fed heaps and heaps and heaps. And that brings me to my next point, which is how often you should feed your fry. So it's going to sound bad here, but the best times to feed your fry is 5 times a day. This is the optimum amount, and this is what all breeders recommend. And I'm going to tell you, you don't have to do that. Obviously, if you want your fish to grow the quickest, that's the best thing to do because it's going to constantly be giving them nutrition. But in my opinion, you really only need to do it twice a day, because I know a lot of people have school, a lot of people have work, and they don't have the time to be at home feeding their fish 5 times a day. So the thing is, with baby fish and fry, it takes about 2 hours for food to be processed through their system. So when a little fish eats food, in about 2 hours it'll be out of its system and that's it. Now, what a lot of people think is that they can feed their fry big amounts and that they'll fill up on that. And the thing is, when you're feeding, you want to feed small amounts but a lot of times during the day rather than one big amount once a day. And the reason for this is they're only going to be able to fit so much in their mouth, and anything else that they don't fit is just going to turn into waste and cloud up the water and make it bad. So you want to be feeding as much as possible, but feed small amounts and often, but twice a day. So once in the morning, and even if you can do it really early when you first wake up, and then right before you go to work, and when you come back, once when you come back from work, and once before the lights turn off, that'll be perfect. And that's your 4 times in a day. But twice a day is perfect for these guys. So now that you understand that you have to have hiding spots for these guys or to put them in another aquarium and what you need to feed them, Another piece of advice is if you want these guys to grow quicker, is to turn the heat up on the aquarium just a little bit, not too much, maybe a couple of degrees Celsius, or I think, I'm not too good with Fahrenheit, but if you turn it up from like say 78 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit, that'll get the metabolisms working quicker and they'll be growing a little bit quicker, and you can get these guys back into the community tank. Now before you add them back into a community tank, or before you move them in with bigger fish, you have to make sure that all your fry are a big enough size where they're not going to be able to fit into the big fish mouth in the aquarium. So that's really all the advice I have to give you guys. I obviously could have gone way into depth here, but that's really all you need to know when you're taking care of these guys. I really hope that this works out for you and that you guys have learned something in this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.